Bournemouth 4, Leicester 1. It's just finished. I just finished watching the game. It feels like I've watched West Ham or something. It was a very West Ham game. Not emotionally invested. There wasn't really something going on there for that one. But just the way the game unfolded, I mean, it's pretty West Ham. Yesterday, it's all going good. 4-0 win. Brighton gets spanked 5-0 later on in the day. We're thinking, hello, 9 goal difference swing in our favour. We start looking up. Well, I did anyway. I started thinking, hang about a couple of half decent results here. We might even catch Brighton before the end of the season, might overtake them. There's a couple of £1 million into the coffers at the club, might equate to about £20 to the transfer kitty extra. What can we do with that 20 quid? I don't know. I know what Kasper Schmeichel did with his 20 quid tonight. He was definitely on Bournemouth to win, wasn't he? Blimey. Brendan Rodgers turned into David Moyes at half time, took his striker off, 1-0 up, took his striker off, put a midfielder on. And the team just collapsed. But anyway, all good last night. So today, it's Sunday by the way. I know you're watching this on Monday, but I just decided to record. I wasn't going to do this, but I thought I'll do a little impromptu video because I'm in a good mood despite the results not going our way. Don't know why I'm in a good... Well, actually, I do know why I'm in a good mood, but that's not really the point of the video. And the point of the video I'll get to in a second. If you're new around here, 40% of you are, do feel free to subscribe to the channel. We've had a few new people subscribing recently. It's much appreciated. If you are one of those people, welcome. Anyway, the point of the video. The relegation battle is well and truly on, isn't it? Yesterday I was thinking a point against Watford and that'll be it. That'll be us done. And then Palace played Villa earlier. And listen, Sakho's goal should have stood. There's no doubt about that. It's come off his shoulder. How VAR has decided that that's not a goal, I do not know. But I thought Villa were the better team over 90 minutes. I think they deserved the 3 points. I am aware the game would be completely different had Palace's goal stood. But Villa were worthy of all 3 points, I thought. So that was that. And then, like I said, Bournemouth 1-0 down at half time. I was thinking that was it. I thought that was them done, relegated tonight. And that was one spot left, 3 teams to go for it. And crikey, what happened to Leicester? Schmeichel boots off Ndidi's arse, who then concedes a penalty, 1-1. And then this Solanke, who's not scored in, 38 games, turns into Prime Maguire. Actually, it didn't even turn into Prime Maguire. It was a poor shot. Schmeichel should be saving it. Trickles over the line. Soyuncu decides to start booting people in the back of the net and gets sent off. I mean, and then they gave it to Solanke again for his second goal. He does turn into Prime Maguire this time with his instinct. I mean, here we go. 4-1 Bournemouth. Relegation battles back on. But, listen, taking West Ham specs off a second, the Premier League needed this. When the Project Restart come back, there was obviously a lot of criticism, a lot of scepticism. Not just no fans, but also because of the concerns of the health. Now that's been fine. There's been no impact on health of anyone, as we know, within the Premier League. So they've been proven correct with their Project Restart. But I would say with the competitiveness, they've been proven correct as well. The last thing Premier League could have had was if we came back and West Ham and Watford, for example, won 3 or 4 games on the bounce and shot away from the bottom. So the bottom 3 didn't change at all and there was no relegation battle. The Premier League, that would have been a disaster for the Premier League. Interest in the football would have waned completely. It already is a little bit, I think. I think when 2 teams that are sort of like safe, not playing for much, like last week we had Everton against Spurs. It was one of the most boring games I've ever seen, just because they've got nothing to play for. I mean, technically they do, they can both qualify for Europe, but you never got that vibe from them. So it was dangerous for the Premier League, especially with no crowd in the ground as well. They needed to almost justify bringing football back, and I think the relegation battle, the battle for the top 4 as well, actually, does that. I mean, talking about battle of the top 4, Leicester, blimey, they're just awful at the minute, aren't they? They were awful before lockdown, they're awful since. Another team that's awful is Everton. I watched them earlier. There's just nothing there. They're just completely gone. So is Crystal Palace. But listen, we can't blame Crystal Palace. Like, I don't blame them for being on the beach against Villa earlier. Their season's done. They've done what they had to do, which is stay up, stay safe. It's done. You know, they got all this fatigue coming in. It's no wonder they're not really giving 100% and stuff. I don't blame them whatsoever. That's law of averages. It's the way the fixtures work. It's just your luck if you're coming up against someone safe or someone with something to play for. Leicester, however, did have something to play for tonight. It was just an embarrassing performance from them. Well, they're Champions League hopes, if you want, are dwindling by the day, especially with Man City today, Monday now. Supposed to be getting told that their appeals won and that they will be playing in the Champions League next season, which is good for West Ham. And I'll tell you why it's good for West Ham, because they play Bournemouth during the week. So Bournemouth and Villa have obviously got to play before we play Watford on Friday. And crikey, this is going to be emotional, isn't it? I'm already getting a bit emotional watching the game. You know, I watched the Villa Palace one earlier. When the Palace one went in, you celebrate, Villa score, you're thinking, oh no. And then it's going to be the same again this week, because it really is heating up at the bottom. Before football come back, West Ham specs are going back on by now, in case you haven't noticed. Before football come back, whenever I do a cup of tea or that with Gonzo, I'd always get asked, how confident are you we're going to stay up? How confident are you? And I was 50-50 the whole time. I could see why we could go down, I could see why we could stay up. I'm a bit more confident now of staying up, given it's not just the win, because I think we need a reality check now. It was good. The 4-0 was good, and we had a little bit of fun. We were able to enjoy ourselves, and it's been a while since we've been able to do that, watching West Ham. But the reality now is, it's a bit similar to when we played Bournemouth with Moyes' first game. We came up against a side that was just atrocious on the day. It was easy to play against, and while we deserved the 4-0 win, a 4-0 win insinuates you were really, really good. Now, we were good, but the opposition were really poor as well, weren't they? So they very much contributed to the 4-0 victory for us. So we need to now have a bit of a reality check, in the sense that we haven't turned into a good team overnight. We're still an okay team, but it's risky, isn't it? So what are we? We're 4 points clear of Bournemouth. Let me just double check that, actually. We're 4 points clear of one of them and 3 points clear of the other one. I just want to double check. Oh no, sorry. We're 4 points clear of Villa and 3 points clear of Bournemouth. But we've got an invisible point. The goal difference is an invisible point, and it's massive, that one. So Bournemouth plays City during the week. Now, the reason City's Champions League appeal is massive for us is just for a motivation thing. They've come back purring since the lockdown. The football they've played has just been out of this world, smashing Liverpool, smashing Burnley, who, you know, teams have struggled against. Liverpool drew with them. Burnley have come back really, really well organised, as we found out, and we know it anyway. But City smashed them, smashed Liverpool, smashed Brighton. So we have to expect and hope that Man City do the same again against Bournemouth, and that will probably push them into the Championship, to be honest with you. I'll struggle to see Bournemouth getting out of it. They'll be 3 points behind us with 2 games to go for them, with a goal difference not in their favour. It would be very, very difficult for Bournemouth to get out of it. The only worry is Man City have the FA Cup, but I don't think that'll bother them motivation-wise, because they've got the Champions League as well, and I think that's the big thing. I think Pep's trying to get them playing 10 out of 10 every week, so when the Champions League does come round, they're ready to go again. They're going to go. They want to go on and win that, don't they? So the appeal thing is good for West Ham in terms of motivation. My worry, though, is that Villa play Everton. Villa's the team that's worrying me here. I'm not that worried about Bournemouth, but Villa are the ones that's worrying me. So they're 4 points behind, but we do have the invisible point on them as well, so it's 5 points essentially. However, because we played them on the final day, this is the difference. Bournemouth don't play us. They don't play Watford. So they have to win their games and hope someone does them a favour. Villa, they need our favour. And it's not 2 favours, 3 favours like Bournemouth need, it's 1. And that is for someone to beat us, or for us to beat Watford, but ideally us, because then on the final day they play us, don't they? So if they can go into that final day 2 points behind West Ham, they know a win and they stay up. And that's what worries me a little bit. I think a point would have been fine on Friday. I'm not so sure anymore. I think we're going to have to go for the win. I do think a point will still be enough. I say long term, 3 games long, but blimey, it's really going to make us nervous, isn't it? All it takes is one mental result. Villa play Everton. I don't think Villa's going to lose that. Everton are just awful. They've got nothing to play for. Their players, half of them just look like they can't be arsed. The other half that can be arsed just aren't good enough. Sigurdsson's not good enough. Davies isn't really good enough. Calvin-Lewin looks knackered. Richarlison today looked like he couldn't be bothered at all. Carlo Ancelotti put out a really random formation that didn't work at all, and he had to make changes during the game. It was just a horrible thing. Pickford's decided he's worse than Kasper Schmeichel. You think he was bad? Pickford was worse earlier. He might be Villa's man of match during the week, but I do think Villa's going to get something against Everton. A draw, and I think we'll stay up. I think Villa needs to win against Everton in order to keep the relegation battle ongoing, but it's squeaky bum time a little bit for now anyway, especially if Villa win until Friday, isn't it? It's getting a bit tetchy, but like I said, I think the Premier League needed this, and I still keep saying it to Gonzo. I remember the time when, my worst season as a West Ham, I say worst, but my least enjoyable one, if you like, is when we finished 10th under Kirby. It was just boring. It was nothing to play for. Boring football from match day 1 to match day 38. It was a bit But at least when you're in a relegation battle, you're drawn into, aren't you? As when you support a football team, any football team, this is the reason you love football and you love that club is because you're emotionally invested. You invest so much time, effort, and emotions. Because emotions are something you can't buy, isn't it? You can't put a price and stuff like that. You can pay X for your ticket, Y for your pint, whatever. You can do all that, but it's the priceless stuff that draws you in. And the relegation battle very much triggers all of your emotions and stuff. That's why I said I did a video last week. I think the win against Chelsea was important for a lot of people. It's that were maybe falling out of love with football / the modern day football, or potentially even West Ham United as a club, mainly because of the owners, possibly because of the manager or the previous manager, the players, whatever. A lot of people were sort of falling away from it or becoming detached from it, and I think that the win against Chelsea just drew them back in, temporarily at least. And I think the relegation battle is doing that. I think it's retaining them. If we were comfortable, if we were say 15th or 14th in the league when football returned after Project Restart, I think a lot more fans, West Ham fans I'm talking about here, would have switched off. They would just not really be bothered, because football without fans ain't football, and I understand that. But the relegation battle is what keeps you coming back, and without it, I think it would be easier to switch off, if you like. It'd be interesting to see if there's fans of Newcastle and Everton, Burnley. Those clubs were not really much to play. Also, saying that, Burnley could easily qualify for the Europa League. But you know what I mean. The team Southampton, the teams that are like 12th, 11th, 10th, it's not really got anything to play for. I wonder if they're still as invested in football, the Premier League, in their club today as they were pre-lockdown. I'm not convinced they would be. I think interest would perhaps be waning, and they'd probably be more interested in the relegation battle than their own games at some point, just because they're boring. The football is boring without fans, isn't it? I watch a lot of Premier League football, and there's definitely a difference. Anyway, I'm going to stop talking now. I'm going to go. It's Monday morning when you're watching this, so enjoy your Monday, enjoy your week. Wednesday night I'll be doing a preview of the Watford game with Gonzo. We'll be doing a mug of tea this week for the patrons. Don't know what night that is if you're a patron. We'll keep you updated. And then obviously we've got the game on Friday, which is it's a big game. Anyway, catch you in a bit. Subscribe if you're new around here. Drop a like on the video if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in a short while.